Good morning, everyone. As the sun rises and a new week begins, you might notice something special about this particular Monday in October. Today, we're exploring a unique American holiday, the second Monday in October. It's a day that sparks conversation, reflection, and sometimes even debate across the country. In 2025, that's October 13th, a date that stands out on calendars for having not just one, but two names, each carrying its own story and significance. Officially, it's known as Columbus Day, a holiday that has been observed for generations. This day honors Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer whose 1492 voyage across the Atlantic Ocean led to European awareness of the Americas. For many, it's also a celebration of Italian-American heritage, marked by parades, festivals, and community gatherings that highlight the contributions of Italian immigrants to American society. But in recent years, a growing movement has advocated for a new perspective. Many now recognize this day as Indigenous Peoples' Day, a time to honor the rich cultures, histories, and enduring presence of Native Americans who lived on this land long before Columbus arrived. Across the country, communities gather to celebrate indigenous traditions, share stories, and educate others about their heritage. This shift in focus acknowledges the painful legacy of colonization, including the displacement and suffering of indigenous peoples. By celebrating Indigenous Peoples' Day, many hope to foster understanding, healing, and respect, while also highlighting the resilience and ongoing contributions of Native communities. The result? There's no single answer. Some calendars mark Columbus Day, others list Indigenous Peoples' Day, and many now include both. This reflects the evolving conversation and the diversity of perspectives found across the United States. The federal government still officially recognizes Columbus Day, but a growing number of states, cities, and local communities have chosen to adopt the new name and meaning. This patchwork of observances means that the holiday can look very different depending on where you are. So, depending on where you live, you might see different events, school or government office closures, and a variety of celebrations. Some places host parades or cultural festivals, while others focus on educational events or community service. This guide will help you understand the complex history behind this evolving holiday, and give you practical tips on what's open or closed in your area. Whether you're honoring Columbus, celebrating Indigenous heritage, or simply curious about the day, let's dive in and learn more together. To truly understand this holiday, we need to journey back in time and explore its origins, tracing the threads that connect the past to the present. The story of Columbus Day is woven from centuries of exploration, migration, and evolving identity in America. Columbus's arrival in 1492 was celebrated in the U.S. as early as the 1700s, with Columbus seen as a symbol of exploration and American identity. Early Americans admired his daring voyage across the Atlantic, viewing it as a reflection of the nation's own spirit of adventure and discovery. In the late 1800s, Italian immigrants, facing widespread discrimination and prejudice, championed Columbus as a national hero to assert their place in American society. For them, Columbus was not just an explorer, but a symbol of pride and belonging in a new land. Their efforts paid off. After years of advocacy and community celebration, in 1937, President Franklin D. Roosevelt officially made Columbus Day a national holiday, recognizing both the explorer and the contributions of Italian Americans. In 1971, the holiday was moved to the second Monday in October, creating a three-day weekend that many Americans now associate with autumn festivities, family gatherings, and a welcome break from work or school. For decades, parades and festivals filled city streets, celebrating Columbus and Italian-American heritage with music, food, and vibrant displays of cultural pride. These events became cherished traditions in many communities. But this narrative often ignored the devastating impact of colonization on indigenous peoples. For Native American communities, Columbus's arrival marked the beginning of centuries of loss, displacement, and struggle. Over time, that one-sided view was challenged. Activists, educators, and indigenous leaders began to speak out, sparking today's debate over what and who this holiday should honor. The conversation continues to evolve, reflecting a growing awareness of history's complexity. The story of Columbus Day is now far more complex, representing both a celebration of heritage and a call to recognize the full scope of our shared history. For generations, Christopher Columbus was celebrated as a heroic explorer, a symbol of discovery and progress in American history. But in the late 20th century, this image began to unravel as new voices and perspectives emerged. Indigenous communities, along with historians and activists, began to highlight the darker side of Columbus's legacy, the violence, disease, and cultural destruction that followed European arrival in the Americas. They spoke out about the loss of land, forced assimilation, and the erasure of native cultures that came in the wake of colonization. For many native peoples and their allies, celebrating Columbus meant ignoring centuries of suffering, dispossession, and injustice. Protests grew louder, calling for a more honest reckoning with the past and a recognition of indigenous resilience. In 1992, the city of Berkeley, California, made history by becoming the first in the United States to officially replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day. This new holiday was created to honor the rich cultures, histories, and contributions of Native peoples. The movement gained momentum across the country. By 2021, President Biden issued the first-ever presidential proclamation for Indigenous Peoples Day, urging all Americans to reflect on the ongoing legacy of Native nations and to celebrate their enduring strength and traditions. Yet, the debate continues. Some leaders and communities defend Columbus Day as a celebration of exploration, perseverance, and Italian-American heritage, seeing it as an important part of their own cultural identity. Today, the meaning of the holiday is at the center of a national conversation about history, identity, and whose stories we choose to tell. Schools, cities, and families are re-examining the narratives they pass down to future generations. The second Monday in October is no longer just about the past. It's about how we shape the future, and how we honor the diversity and resilience of all peoples who call this land home. The conversation is far from over. As more voices join in, the story of America continues to evolve, one that strives to include everyone. When a federal holiday arrives, people wonder, will banks and markets be open? On Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, the answer is mixed. The New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ stay open, trading continues as usual. But the bond market takes the day off, following industry guidelines. For most people, the bigger question is about banks. Major banks like Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo close their branches for the holiday. Plan ahead if you need in-person banking. But don't worry, ATMs, online banking, and mobile apps are available 24/7, so you can still manage your money. The bottom line, stock trading is open, bond trading is closed, and most bank branches are shut. Digital banking keeps you connected. Check with your local branch for any exceptions. What about mail and packages on Columbus Day? The U.S. Postal Service takes the day off, no mail delivery, and post offices are closed. Expect a one-day delay for anything sent through USPS. But private carriers like FedEx and UPS keep working. Your online orders and packages from these companies should arrive on schedule. Some FedEx office and UPS store locations may have reduced hours, so check ahead if you need in-store services. For most home deliveries, it's business as usual. The key takeaway: USPS pauses, but FedEx and UPS keep moving. Plan ahead for any urgent mail. Always check your local store's hours if you need to drop off or pick up a package. Your deliveries are mostly safe. Just watch for that USPS delay. Columbus Day's impact on government services depends on where you live. All non-essential federal offices and courts close for the holiday. If you need to visit a federal agency, you'll have to wait until Tuesday. State and local government closures vary. Some close, others stay open, depending on whether they recognize the holiday. Always check your city or state's official website for the latest info. Public libraries often close, but some branches in big cities may stay open with limited hours. Trash and recycling pickup may be delayed by a day in some areas. The best advice: check local schedules before heading out. Don't assume, verify. A little planning saves a lot of hassle. Will schools be open on Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day? It depends. Many public schools, especially in the Northeast, close for the holiday, giving students a 3-day weekend. But in other regions, especially where the holiday isn't widely observed, schools stay open. Some use the day to teach about both Columbus and indigenous cultures. Most colleges and universities hold classes as usual. Academic calendars are tight, and few federal holidays are observed. University offices may close, but students should expect to attend class unless told otherwise. Always check your school district or university calendar for specifics. When in doubt, confirm before making plans. The rules for Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day aren't the same everywhere. States, cities, and private businesses set their own schedules. Most stores, restaurants, and movie theaters stay open. Many even run holiday sales. For most private sector workers, it's a regular workday, unless your employer says otherwise. Public transportation varies. Some cities run on a weekend schedule, others reduce service, and some commuter trains may not run at all. Always check your local transit authority's website before traveling. The best strategy? Think local. Check your city's website for government office closures and service changes. Look up your school district's calendar, call ahead, or check online for store and business hours. A little research ensures your day goes smoothly. Knowing the federal holiday schedule helps you plan your year. There are 11 official U.S. federal holidays in 2025. New Year's Day, January 1st, Wednesday. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 20th, Monday. President's Day, February 17th, Monday. Memorial Day, May 26th, Monday. Juneteenth, June 19th, Thursday. Independence Day, July 4th, Friday. Labor Day, September 1st, Monday. Columbus Day, October 13th, Monday. Veterans Day, November 11th, Tuesday. Thanksgiving, November 27th, Thursday, and Christmas Day, December 25th, Thursday. Mark your calendar.